Hello friends, welcome back to this video on analog communication. In this video I am going to talk about a very important concept which is Hilbert transform. So we are moving from double sideband suppressed carrier to single sideband suppressed carrier amplitude modulation, and in SSBSC this term is used for the generation of single sideband suppressed carrier signal. So now it is very important to discuss what is Hilbert transform. We have studied about Fourier transform, Laplace transform, which were converting one domain signal to another domain signals. Like the Fourier transform was converting the signal in the time domain to the signal in the frequency domain. The Laplace transform was converting the signal in the time domain to the signal in the S domain. Now here the Hilbert transform does not convert the signal from one domain to another. Rather, it changes the phase of each and every component of the signal by 90 degrees. So I have the output signal after the Hilbert transform, which is in the same domain, but the phase would be changed by 90 degree. So the phase of all the components of the input signal is changed by 90 degree. This is called my Hilbert transform. So if I talk about the Hilbert transform mathematically, so if this is my xt, when it is passed to a filter ht, this is the impulse response of the filter, I'll get x cap of t. So now x cap of t, if I have to represent, x cap of t represents the Hilbert transform signal, the Hilbert transform of xt. So x cap t is equal to, from this diagram you can say it is equal to x of t convolutional with h of t. So now what is this ht which is making the Hilbert transform of xt? So ht has the value 1 upon pi t. So whenever the filter has the value 1 upon pi t, any input applied to this filter will give me the Hilbert transform. So now when the value of ht is equal to 1 upon pi t, I'll get the output of the filter to be x cap t. So now I know the formula to find out the convolution. So x cap t is equal to minus infinity to infinity x of tau upon pi t minus tau d tau, or I can represent it as, I can take pi outside, minus infinity to infinity x of tau t minus tau d tau. Now finding out convolution is a bit complex. So now if I talk about the signal in the frequency domain, so I know the property of the convolution, that if I find out the convolution in the time domain, it would be the multiplication in the frequency domain. So let's consider x cap t is equal to x f when I take the Fourier transform. So the Fourier transform of x cap t, I have taken it to be x cap f, Fourier transform of xt to be xf, and Fourier transform of ht to be h of f. So now I am taking the Fourier transform of all the terms. So when I replace these terms, so x cap of f is equal to x of f multiply with h of f. So now convolution converts into multiplication in the frequency domain. So now I know this formula. Now if I know hf, I can just multiply the value of hf with the signal in the frequency domain, and I can find out x cap of f. And after that, if I need to find out the signal in the time domain, I can take the inverse Fourier transform. So its inverse Fourier transform will give me x cap of t. So this is the easier method to find out the x cap of t. We'll use the Fourier transform and inverse Fourier transform. So what we are doing, we are taking the Fourier transform of all the terms, we are multiplying xf with hf, we'll get x cap of f, and then we'll take the inverse Fourier transform and I'll get x cap of t, which is the Hilbert transform of xt. So now the task is to find out h of f. I have h of t is equal to 1 upon pi t. Now I know the formula of Fourier transform of signum t. It is 1 upon 2 upon j of omega. So I can easily write it as, I can convert omega into frequency, j into 2 pi f. So it is equal to 1 upon j pi f. Now I know the Fourier transform of signum of t, which is 1 upon j pi f. Now with the help of duality principle, signum of minus f is the inverse Fourier transform of 1 upon j pi t. So I converted f with t. Now I know signum. Signum is a function which is represented like this. So the value of signum is 1 when x is greater than 1. So this is signum of t. So now signum of x, and the value of signum is minus 1 when x is less than 1. So this is my signum of x. So from here I can see signum of minus x would be equal to minus of signum of x. It is an odd function. How you can justify any function is an odd function? You can see it with the help of this y-axis. If the y-axis has the output here and the output here, which are mirror images. If the y-axis produces the mirror images of the function, then it is an even function, otherwise it is odd. So here I am not getting any mirror image, so I can say it is an odd function. So signum of minus x would be equal to minus of signum x. So I can write signum of minus f to be minus of signum of f. It is the inverse Fourier transform of 1 upon j pi t. I need to find out the inverse Fourier of the Fourier transform of pi t. So if I talk about the Fourier transform, so now I need to find out the Fourier transform of pi t. What will I do? I'll just multiply with j. So here if I multiply with j, I'll get j signum of f. It is the Fourier transform of 1 upon pi t. Because I'll multiply with j, so that j and this j will get cancelled out. So now I know the Fourier transform of 1 upon pi t. So this is my h of f. So whenever I have any signal in the frequency domain, so x cap of f is equal to minus j signum of f multiplied with x of f. So whatever my signal is, I'll multiply it with minus j signum of f. So let's understand what is minus j signum of f graphically. So if I plot the graph of signum of f, so it was like that. If I plot the graph of minus j signum of f, so how I'll find out it? Signum of f is equal to 1 when f is greater than equal to 0, and it is minus 1 when f is less than 0. So this function represents signum of f. Now I need to find out minus signum of f. So it would be equal to 1 when f is less than 0 and minus 1 when f is greater than equal to 0. So here this is the signum of minus signum of f or signum of minus f. This graph is representing minus signum of f. So this is 1 and this is minus 1. So this is signum of minus f. This is f. So now I need to find out j into signum of f. So whenever I'll multiply it with j, here also it is multiplied with j. So this was minus j signum of f. So here also it is multiplied with j, it is multiplied with j. So it is also amplitude is multiplied with j, and here I'll get minus j. So whenever I multiply any signal with minus j, when it is greater than 0 in the frequency domain and when it is less than 0, I'll multiply it with j. I'll get the Hilbert transform. So what I need to do, if I have any signal, I need to find its Fourier transform. I'll see for what values it is greater than 0. So whenever it is greater than 0, I'll multiply it with minus j, and whenever it is less than 0, I'll multiply it with j and I'll add them. If I need to find out this signal, the Hilbert transform in the time domain, I'll find out the inverse Fourier transform. I'll get the signal Hilbert transform in the time domain. So now I hope you understood each and everything about Hilbert transform. If you still have any doubt, you can put the doubt in the comment box and I'll try to resolve it as soon as possible. I hope you like this video. If you like it, share it with your friends, subscribe to the channel and push the like button. Thank you.